They walk the same streets, they breathe the same air, but somehow they see the world completely differently. While most chase money, they study it. While others spin, they strategize. Where most see limits, they see leverage. What makes them different? It's not luck. It's not privilege. It's psychology. For centuries, from the Medici to Rockefeller to Buffett, the wealthy have understood something we often forget. Wealth isn't built in your wallet. It's built in your mind. In this episode, we'll go beyond numbers and accounts into the mental architecture of wealth itself. Because once you understand how they think, you'll never see money, power, or success the same way again. Everyone wants to be wealthy, but few ever stop to ask, what is wealth really? Is it the size of your bank account or the stability of your mind? Because here's the paradox. You can have $1 million and still live in fear. And you can have very little, yet move through the world with confidence and control. Wealth isn't just money, it's mastery. It's understanding how people, systems, and psychology work. And history has proven those who understood human nature controlled not only money, but empires. Today, I want to show you how to be wealthy, not in theory, but in practice, by decoding the mindset of the people who quietly built entire civilizations on the psychology of wealth. Because the truth is, money follows psychology, not the other way around. Let's start with a truth that feels uncomfortable. Wealth has never been about money. It's about perception, trust, and time. Think about it. Money is just paper. Gold is just metal. Stocks are just numbers on a screen. But our belief in them, that's what gives them power. The Romans understood this thousands of years ago. Their empire was built not just on armies, but on a shared illusion, a faith that their coins had value because Rome said so. Fast forward centuries later, the same psychology drives the stock market, crypto, and even the dollar in your pocket. But here's the problem. Most people think wealth is something you chase. The wealthy know it's something you build inside first. The poor say, I need to make more. The wealthy say, I need to think differently. And this difference in psychology is the invisible line that's divided classes, empires, and generations for over 2,000 years. To understand how to build wealth that lasts, we have to go back before Wall Street, before Rockefeller, before capitalism itself, to a time when one family discovered the secret to creating money out of belief. Florence, the cradle of art, architecture, and banking. The Medici family didn't just get rich, they rewrote how money worked. Before them, wealth was gold, heavy, limited, and dangerous to move. But the Medici introduced something revolutionary, trust-based wealth. Instead of gold, they traded paper promises, letters of credit, the first version of digital money. They realized something profound. People don't crave gold, they crave certainty. If you can create trust, you can create value, even out of thin air. That single shift from metal to meaning built an empire, and not just financial. The Medici funded artists, scientists, and thinkers. They used wealth to create culture. But here's what's fascinating. Their wealth didn't start in vaults. It started in minds. They built networks, not hordes. They invested in people, not possessions. And because of that, their influence lasted generations beyond their fortune. When you study the Medici, you realize wealth has always been psychological first, financial second. They didn't hoard gold, they circulated trust, and that circulation built dynasties. The Medici's secret wasn't banking, it was belief. They mastered the psychology of confidence, the invisible current that powers every transaction, every market, every deal. And while they built cathedrals and financed kings, they also planted the seeds of something more powerful, the modern financial system. But the Medici were just the beginning. Their empire would eventually fall, and from their lessons came a man who turned wealth into industry itself. His name, John D. Rockefeller. And his obsession wasn't gold, it was control. When the Medici mastered the art of trust, John D. Rockefeller mastered the art of control. The world had changed. Florence's gold had turned to oil, black, sticky, and infinitely more powerful. Rockefeller didn't chase wealth, he engineered it. While others scrambled for profits, he studied systems, finding the cracks, filling them with discipline, and eliminating chaos. He once said, "The man who starts out simply with the idea of getting rich won't succeed." And he was right, because he understood something most people still don't. Wealth isn't built through desire, it's built through structure. To Rockefeller, efficiency was morality. Waste was sin. Every drop of oil, every cent of profit, every second of labor had a purpose. He turned chaos into clarity. And that's what made him the world's first billionaire. But beneath his empire was a psychological truth. Control reduces anxiety. The rich don't crave money. They crave certainty in an uncertain world. And Rockefeller's certainty reshaped capitalism. He built Standard Oil, not to own fuel, but to own flow. He didn't sell oil, he sold reliability. In psychology, that's called mastery orientation, the ability to focus on what can be controlled and release what can't. The wealthy build mastery. The broke chase luck. Rockefeller's discipline became his identity. He prayed, planned, and perfected. And in that stillness, he found the truest form of wealth, peace of mind. If Rockefeller built the empire of control, Warren Buffett built the empire of patience. Where Rockefeller moved like a machine, Buffett moves like a monk. He once said, "The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient." Buffett embodies what I call the calm, compounding mind. He doesn't trade frenzy for fortune. He trades time for mastery. He spends 80% of his day reading, absorbing patterns, observing people, waiting for opportunity to come to him. And that's the secret. The wealthy don't chase, they position themselves. Buffett's wealth isn't a product of luck. It's the result of decades of emotional discipline. Most people ask, where should I invest? The wealthy ask, who do I have to become to invest wisely? That's the shift. Money follows mindset, not math. And yet, even Buffett's success is just another reflection of an ancient truth. From the Medici to Rockefeller to Buffett, wealth has always belonged to those who mastered the inner game before the outer one. Because no matter the era, the real currency has always been belief, patience, and control. But if wealth is psychological, then the real question becomes, what inside us keeps so many people from ever achieving it? Why do most people work their whole lives only to die stressed, indebted, or unfulfilled? The answer isn't in the markets, it's in the mind. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people aren't trapped by poverty, they're trapped by psychology. They don't see money as a tool, they see it as a test of worth. They chase it when they feel empty, spend it when they feel anxious, and avoid it when they feel ashamed. Our beliefs about money are programmed early. Maybe we heard money is hard to earn or rich people are greedy. Each phrase becomes a mental ceiling. That's why people self-sabotage when opportunity appears. The moment abundance knocks, their mind whispers, "You don't deserve this." But the wealthy think differently. They don't fear money, they respect it. They treat it as a current that flows through discipline, patience, and clarity. In psychology, this is called internal locus of control, the belief that your results come from your own behavior, not luck. The wealthy cultivate this, the broke outsource it. Every financial action begins with one emotional choice: react to money or command. Let me give you the 5 principles that have never failed, from the Medici to Rockefeller to Buffett to every quietly wealthy person alive today. Principle number 1, clarity creates capital. The rich understand where every dollar goes. The poor believe money disappears. That difference builds or breaks empires. Principle number 2, discipline outperforms desire. Wealth isn't built on motivation. It's built on habits you keep when motivation dies. Principle number 3, patience multiplies everything. The impatient spend decades chasing quick wins. The patient let time do the heavy lifting. Principle number 4, leverage builds freedom. The poor trade time for money. The wealthy trade systems for time. Principle number 5, purpose protects wealth. When money has meaning, greed can't control you. When money lacks meaning, it consumes you. Those who live by these laws don't just grow rich, they stay rich because they've built something rarer than fortune, financial serenity. So how do you become wealthy? Not by chasing, not by copying, but by understanding. Understand that every coin you earn reflects the clarity of your choices. Understand that markets rise and fall, but discipline never depreciates. Understand that wealth isn't a race, it's a reflection. Across centuries, one pattern repeats. Those who master their mind master their money. Those who seek control over self never lose control over fortune. Because wealth isn't built on money, it's built on mastery. If this changed how you see wealth, watch my next story. The New Gold Obsession, Power Psychology, and the 2025 Surge. I'll see you there.